Hey y'all, it's Amy with Northwest Registered Agent, and I'm here today with Clayton. Clayton, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Amy.
Today, we are going to be talking about whether you still need to file an annual report if you have no sales. We'll talk about the basics of filing an annual report. So Clayton, a client was wondering the other day if they still needed to file an annual report even if they didn't have any sales. What should I tell them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So even if they don't have any sales, they still do have to file the annual report. It's kind of like a gym membership. Even if you didn't go to the gym, you still pay for that membership. So in order to stay in good standing, they'd have to make sure they do that.
Okay, so what businesses have to file an annual report?
Yeah, so it varies by state, but LLCs and corporations most typically have to do those. Sole proprietors and partnerships usually don't, but you definitely want to check with the state just to make sure.
Okay, so how do they file an annual report then?
Yeah, so it varies by state, but for the most part, they would just fill out a form with any changes or updates or anything new that's going on and pay a fee. They can check with the Secretary of State for the specifics that are needed on that form, or they can hire a service like Northwest Registered Agent to file it for them.
Okay, great. So what happens if they don't file their annual report?
Yeah, so if they don't file their annual report, the consequences can vary by state. It could be extra fees, and it could ultimately have their business dissolved altogether. So you definitely want to check with the state to see what those ramifications are.
Okay, thank you. So today, we learned that even if your business didn't make any sales, you will still need to file an annual report. Though this will vary by state, generally, LLCs and corporations need to file a report. We also learned that when filing your annual report, you will need to fill out your business info, update anything that's new, and pay a fee. However, this process will vary by state. Finally, we learned that the consequences for not filing will vary widely by state and could mean anything from a fee to being administratively dissolved. Thank you so much for being here today, Clayton.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Amy.
If you have a question, leave it in the comments. State paperwork is hard. We can help. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. You can find links to what we've discussed in the description below. We also picked out 2 other videos you might find useful. You need tools to build something big. Subscribe now.